All right. Good morning, everybody. 9:20 on this Friday. Carson Meredith with you, filling in for Brian Good on this 5th of July. Hope you've had a good holiday weekend so far. We're chiming in this morning to give you a quick update on these strong storms rolling into wave country yet again. As expected, it's been a stormy setup over the last 3 days. We had that first round movement Wednesday afternoon. Of course, we had the tornadoes touch down, a couple of them. One in Harrison County, one in the west end of Louisville, Thursday afternoon on the 4th of July. And while we're not worried about severe storms, or I should say tornadoes this morning, we've got a few stronger storms rolling in. So let's go right to radar, shall we? There's no severe thunderstorm warnings anymore. There was one for Harrison County, parts of Crawford, Perry, and Meade County a few minutes ago. That was allowed to expire at 9:15. So here we are just past that point. And this is what is left of that storm, still producing pretty heavy rainfall as it moves closer to Louisville. And we'll still have to keep an eye to make sure that this storm does not intensify again. Of course, as the morning goes on, we're going to keep heating things up. Might see these storms ramp up again, especially as they push east of Louisville. So that's what we're going to be watching over the next few hours. And this is really the strongest storm on the board at this point. You notice very heavy rain coming down. Let's see, this is just moving out of Corden. Still some very heavy rain coming down in Corden at the moment. You get towards Crandall, Georgetown, Lanesville, even up towards Greenville, Palmyra, near Hubers. Very heavy rain and a lot of lightning with this particular storm. But about 30 minutes ago, we did get a report in eastern Crawford County, upwards of 50-mile-per-hour gust. So these storms certainly have some wind energy still this morning. And like we mentioned, these storms may intensify again, especially as they cross I-65. So we start to heat things up today. That's where the main concern will be for that gusty wind potential. The tornado threat, it is much, 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 much lower today compared to yesterday. Is it totally zero? No, but it's less than 1%, all right? So we don't need to worry too terribly much about tornadoes this morning. Let me get to the comments real quick, and we'll keep tracking the storm for you. And we'll just take our time watching these storms as they cross the Ohio River moving into the metro this morning. This is our main focus here on Wave Weather Now on this Friday. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. The contest. Ashley's back asking about the contest. Who's going to be at what theater? Well, there's no warning, so we can talk about it. As of this moment, that could still change. Brian and myself will be at the Blake and Baker Theater, and Tawana and Ryan Hoke will be in Jeffersonville. That could still change, though, but that's the last I heard. Let's see. Jasmine says, good morning. Just got woken up by the thunder. Yep, another booming start for some of us again. Yesterday's tornado warning startled me. I woke up from a nap to an alert on my phone. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It was a little bit of a surprise. The tornado ingredients really ramped up yesterday morning, looking over the model data. And unfortunately, it came to fruition with that pair of tornadoes that touched down on the 4th of July. Tanya says, good morning. Raywick, Kentucky is where Tabitha's watching us on this Friday. Shonda says, good morning from Jeffersonville, always watching. Let's see here. Weather Geek on YouTube says, howdy, noisy out there in the south end. Yeah, starting to hear a few rumbles anywhere in the metro, but especially in the south end. Nick says, good morning. Well, we're going to ignore that. Tabitha says, had to stop weed eating due to the lightning. Yeah, good call. Good call. You hear thunder? Head on inside, all right? Let's see. Let's see. John says, good morning. Enjoy your weather reports. Thank you very much. Very kind of you, John. All right, let's get back to tracking this storm, shall we? Again, it's no longer severe, although there was a good punch of wind with it just a few minutes ago. Let's check the wind now. It is weaker. Bear with me. I'm just kind of doing some radar analysis on the fly. I'm making sure there's not any rotation. I don't see any. So that's a good thing. Let's see if we can peg some wind speeds here. Just south of Corden, 22 miles per hour. So that's good. It's obviously not severe. 12 miles per hour. So these storms have weakened quite a bit here over the last 15 or 30 minutes. And hopefully that trend continues. However, we got to watch to make sure they don't ramp back up again as we get towards, let's say, 11 a.m. or noon. It'll take a little while longer for these storms to totally get out of our neck of the woods. But I do think around noon or 1 o'clock, we're done with this. And for most of us, we'll be done for the rest of the day. Still some very heavy rain coming down. This is really moving out of Harrison County now, going through Floyd County. Very heavy rain just outside of Georgetown, the north side of Georgetown, closer to 150, between Greenville and the Knobs. If you're familiar with that part of Floyd County, very heavy rain, good bit of lightning still. Let's track this because this is a weird setup. I was just talking to Tawana about this a second ago. This whole line of storms, or what's left of it, is kind of moving northeast. Let me put it into motion. See how it's kind of moving a little bit to the north and east, but at the same time, these isolated pockets of stronger wind are moving due east. Just a weird little thing we'll have to keep an eye on here as these storms continue to push through. I will say, let me get the loop back going here. Just over the last hour, these storms have weakened quite a bit, which is good. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. But it is a good thing to see these storms weakening. Really just some steadier rain along I-65. I'll still need to keep an eye on this one storm, though, just to make sure it doesn't ramp back up again. So again, this is moving out of Harrison County, Indiana. Very heavy rain pretty much across all of Floyd County into western Clark County. Borden, let's see, you get up towards Carwood, the little Carwood community, New Liberty, any of those parts could be seeing some very heavy rain, a lot of lightning at this point. Tawana stepping in. Hey, what's up?
Storm tracker feed?
Storm tracker feed. Thank you for reminding me.
You're good. It looks crazy right
Okay.
now. The corn is touching its toes.
Live TV, guys. Hang on. Let's see here. What REM is it on?
5.
5. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So there you go, guys. Thank you for reminding me. Appreciate it. That is a live view of our storm tracker. It is moving into this heavier storm in Floyd County as we speak. Ooh, look at that rain. Do you see that? That ponding on the roadways is going to be one of the main issues with these stronger storms rolling through. Very, very heavy rain. And also some gusty winds possible. Although I will say the wind threat has dropped off quite a bit here over the last half hour. But because it is so tropical out there, okay, these are going to be very, very efficient rainmakers. So we'll have to watch that as we go through the next couple of hours or so. Sorry, guys. It looks like we got some trolls. All right. I think we got them all. Okay. If there's any more trolls, let me know. So yeah, that's a live view of the storm tracker. I'll keep that up here for a few minutes. I believe it is in Floyd County at the moment. Looks like on some of those 2 lanes there in Floyd County. Let's see. Tanya's asking about Hanover, Indiana. Could be some heavy rain in Hanover, I'd say in the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. Keep an eye out for that. Nothing severe at this point. Expect more rain today later on. Tracy asked, there could be some more isolated downpours this afternoon. We heat things back up again after this morning round of storms. I can't rule out some very spotty storms later on today, but it will not be widespread. A lot of us will stay dry once we get this first round out of here. Let's see. Douglas Hill's very dark. I would not be surprised, or I am not surprised to hear that at all. Get the radar here set up here. We'll get it back on in just a second. Angie says yesterday's tornado in Harrison County was too close to my house. Yeah, definitely a little too close for everybody, I think. Thankfully, no injuries or anything like that. Michelle says good morning from Linden. Jamie says they're in Georgetown. Pretty good winds here. Yeah, I think the Weather Service is watching for 40-mile-per-hour winds with this storm. You see our storm tracker also riding through some heavy rain right now. A couple rumbles of thunder in Goshen. Lawrence says, sounds like, Michael says, sounds like the after fourth party outside. Yeah, pretty much. How long were the fireworks going off at your house last night? For me, it was close to midnight before they finally stopped. Tiffany's hearing thunder in Clarksville. Alley Cat says, what's happening in Campbellsville? Just woke up to thunder. Let me switch my source back over real quick to the radar, and we will look at it, okay? There's nothing severe at this point. Get that radar popped up. There you go. That's the storm we are mainly focused on, moving through southern Indiana. But we'll go back down to Campbellsville. And it's really been these two pockets of stronger storms today so far. The one to the north we've been talking about primarily, but also this one that Alley Cat's a little concerned about in Campbellsville. Yes, very heavy rain is about to move into Taylor County. In fact, it already is in Taylor County. Greene County, Greensburg, a lot of lightning, very heavy rain. And that story continues down in Columbia across pretty much all of Adair County as well. This is not severe. It continues to weaken. Hopefully that trend continues. But I would not be surprised to see some wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour with this storm as well. In fact, we'll put on the velocity, see what kind of winds we're looking at. It does look quite a bit weaker than what we had just a little while ago. There were some decent wind gusts with this storm as it moved through Bowling Green. What does that say? 16 miles per hour. So yeah, not seeing a whole lot of wind with these storms at the moment. But as we said right out of the gate, we've got to watch to make sure these things don't intensify as they keep on pushing east as we start to warm things up as the day goes on. Just a little thunder in Goshen, Lauren says. Thunder and lightning in North Vernon, Kelly says. Rick in Fern Creek is watching. Judy says, thanks for keeping us updated. Of course, that's what we're here for. Christina, I live at the Indian Creek Apartments. To me, that was too close yesterday. Yeah. There was 2 tornadoes at this point. There, I don't believe there's any more surveys scheduled for today. But yeah, a pair of tornadoes. Just the second tornado to ever hit Jefferson County, ever hit Louisville in the month of July. How about that? I think you have to go back to 97 to see anything like that. Let's see. Todd says crazy weather. I guess Kevin must be on vacation. We can't confirm if that is a correlation or not, but yes, Kevin is out of town, but he's been watching. He's been watching while he's been out of town, and we're thankful for that. Let's see. Folks saying we still got some trolls. Yeah, if you see any more, guys, let me know. I'll try to get them out of here. We don't have time for meanness or spam. We're going to talk weather. Let's see. Hello from LaRue County. Tanya says, thank you. Love you guys. Thanks for keeping us safe. Of course, Tanya, that's what we're here for. We're happy to do it. So, bad to be doing yard work, Tabitha asked. Yeah, right now, over the next hour or two, definitely would not recommend doing any kind of yard work as this cluster of showers and storms rolls through. It is weakening quite a bit, guys. I mean, you can just see over the last 3 hours. It's got a lot of lightning still, very heavy rain. There may be some gusty winds around 30, 40 miles per hour in here. But there is nothing overly concerning when it comes to severe weather at this point. Logan says, got nasty in Corden just a few minutes ago, pretty much blinding rain and constant lightning. Yeah, that was where the storm was at its most severe, right over Corden, that northern storm we've been watching. The warning was for 60-mile-per-hour winds, things like that. So, yeah, that's definitely not surprising at all, Logan. The only report we've gotten so far was 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Crawford County. That's all we've had. We haven't had any damage from this morning's storms just yet. Dustin says, do you think it's a washout for the Madison Regatta? No, not at all. The weekend looks fantastic. You'll see that here on the 10-day in a minute. If they're doing, and forgive me that I haven't lived in Louisville in almost 10 years until recently, so I can't remember if they do anything on Friday up at the regatta. But if they do, just let these storms roll through first. And I really think past noon today, a lot of us will stay dry. There could be a couple of isolated afternoon storms, but that chance is really only 20% at best. So once we get this main round of storms out of here this morning, I think all of wave country is in decent shape for the rest of the day. Can't rule out a stray storm later on this afternoon, but that is a smaller chance compared to what we're seeing right now. So Dustin, long story short, no, the regatta is not a washout at all today, or this weekend for that matter. Yeah, Jasmine, yesterday Ryan was calling out your place to work, to shelter. Yeah, it was a little concerning, that's for sure. That rotation was hanging on. It just kept hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. And sure enough, dropped 2 tornadoes on the 4th of July. Go figure. Jefferson says, good morning from Simpsonville. Desiree says it's pouring in E-Town. Yeah, sure is. Brenda says very dark on Blake and Baker in the East End. Ashley says next week a summertime setup. Daily chances for rain and storms. For the moment, yes. But there might be some little changes we have to watch. Really won't get into that this morning, but we may have some impacts from Beryl. May, keyword may. We may not. But the trends are interesting. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. Tanya says it's dark and Shively. The winds are very minimum. Thanks for the report, Tanya. Yeah, that doesn't look like a whole lot here in the city at this point. The heaviest of the storm is staying just north of Louisville, mainly a Clark County issue. But you still see very heavy rain. Let me circle it for you. Right through there. So Popper Level Road, Bardstown Road between the Watterson and the Snyder, Ogallona, Audubon Park, Buchel. Those little burgs are seeing some very heavy rain, but there's rain across all of Jefferson County at this point. So again, if you're going to be heading out here in the next 15 to 20 minutes, take it easy, all right? Umbrella's a must, wipers a must. Watch out for ponding on the roads. I really think that's the main concern we have here in the city as this round of storms rolls through. A lot of folks chiming in this morning. Bear with me as I look through the comments. Let's see. Jocelyn, the weather enthusiast on YouTube, says lots of lightning in New Albany. Yeah, quite a bit. In fact, that's really the heaviest pocket of rain with this particular storm is right over New Albany as we speak. So right over the Lee Hamilton, Grant Line Road. You live anywhere near those roads or in New Albany, Jeffersonville, and Clarksville too. Very, very heavy rain, almost blinding rain, and a lot of lightning. But nothing severe, nothing severe. These storms have weakened quite a bit here over the last few minutes. Let's see. Barbara says, good morning from Shelbyville. Jeffrey says, ridiculous humidity today. Yeah, it's not that great. The humidity is not that great at all, but it will get better as we head into this weekend. Still a little humid this weekend, but not the air you can wear, as I like to call it. Bonnie says, raining cats and dogs in Highview. Yeah, sounds about right. Danielle says, hello from Highview. Here the rain and storms are heading this way. Indeed. Indeed. There you go. Down towards Highview, Okolona, near Appliance Park. Heads up, J-Town, Fern Creek. You're going to be seeing some of that heavier rain here in the next minute or so, moving into your backyard. David's asking about Greensburg. We'll go back down to Greensburg here real quick, if my computer will let me. There we go. So the worst of the storms are moving out of Greensburg, moving out of Greene County. Still a lot of heavier rain and lightning in the northern part of Greene County. We'll circle it here if I can. There we go. Basically north of Greensburg, stretching into Campbellsville. If you're in Adair County, you're getting drenched right now, pouring rain. These are very, very efficient rainmakers today. And that's why we have to watch for the ponding potential. And, you know, if you can believe it, a lot of us are kind of waterlogged from the rain we've had the last couple of days. It's crazy. This time of year, you either get nothing or you get too much rain. It's not nice and balanced. If only it was. So we'll have to keep an eye on the flash flooding concern for the rest of today, really the rest of this morning. Olivia makes a good point here on Facebook. Lots of condensation on the windows today. I noticed that this morning as I was getting ready for work. When you see condensation on the windows, that always means it is a soupy morning. And that trend will continue. Let's see. Well, Brian makes a good point there. Just keep an eye out for some of those roads. Might have some ponding over the next little bit. Let's see. Logan heard there was a tree down on State Road 135 in New Salisbury. Logan, let me know if that was from today, from this morning, because we had a report yesterday. There was some damage along 135 near where that tornado touched down in Harrison County. So don't want to get any reports confused. Shonda says there was a shelf cloud coming out of the knobs. I'm not surprised by that at all. Not at all. So let's see here. Sellersburg, it's pouring, according to Keisha. Yeah, that's not surprising. I'll show that storm in a second. Danny says, toad strangler rainfall. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Nicole is asking about Madison, Indiana. So we'll keep hopping back and forth between these two stronger pockets of storms. You can see the very heavy rain continues across parts of the metro, mainly just across the Ohio River into southern Indiana. Heaviest rain stretches now through Madison. So, Nicole, very heavy rain should be starting shortly if it hasn't already. Madison down to Charlestown, through Borden, Henryville, Clarksville, Jeffersonville, New Albany, the Knobs. Very, very heavy, blinding rain, the kind of rain that'll make you get off the road because you can't see in front of you. And a lot of lightning. Lots and lots of lightning. Let's see. Logan confirms that report was just posted on their community page 11 minutes ago. Okay, good to know, Logan. Really appreciate your reports. That helps us a lot. That helps our friends at the National Weather Service a lot. So, got a report of a tree down Highway 135 in New Salisbury, according to our friend Logan there. Let's see. Alicia says, just starting raining in Madison. So that's the main concern right now, guys, is very heavy rain. Let me see if our storm tracker feed is back up here. Give me 1 second. There's the heavy rain moving through southern Indiana as we speak. Let's see if the storm tracker is still live. Oh, yeah, there we go. Looks like some trees were cut up from yesterday's storms. Doing a 3-point turn. Got to be safe, right? Our storm tracker was heading out to Harrison County, kind of do a recap of the storms that we had yesterday, the tornado we had in Harrison County. And we had to give them a heads up like, hey, you got pretty heavy rain coming in now too. But it looks like things are calming down nicely where they are. They're somewhere in southern Indiana, either Floyd or Harrison County. So you can see some of the trees that were cut up and cleared out, I would assume, from the storms that rolled through yesterday. Trying to see if that tree may have been unhealthy or not. No, it looks pretty good. So we had a pretty good pocket of damaging winds rolled through in addition to that those two tornadoes yesterday as well. So thankfully, we've only gotten that one report from Logan there in New Salisbury of a tree down on 135 in New Salisbury. But that's all we've heard so far. We had a 50-mile-per-hour gust in Crawford County at about 8:45, 8:50, somewhere in there. But it really looks like things are calming down just a little bit. So let me get you back to radar. Show you the storm tracker view of those trees down from yesterday. And we'll go back to our weather graphics. There we go. So heavy rain continues across Floyd, Clark, eastern Scott County, southern Jefferson County, Indiana. There's still some very heavy rain here in Louisville as well, especially east of I-65, St. Matthews, Crescent Hill, Indian Hills, Middletown, the Highlands, Butyl, near GE, along the Watterson, let's say from Popper Level to really all the way to 71. Up towards Ballard, if you live near Ballard, got some heavier rain along Hurstbourne Parkway, Shelbyville Road. So it's basically the heaviest rain now moving through eastern Jefferson County. And it will continue to push east at a decent clip. These storms are thankfully moving at about 40 miles per hour. So that's helping to limit widespread flooding. But because we're so waterlogged, there's still going to be some pockets of ponding on the roads, maybe some flash flooding too. It's not totally out of the question as the rest of the morning unfolds. And again, these storms have really lost their strength here over the last little bit. Let me check the velocities again just to make sure. And yeah, there's not much there. What you're looking for when you look at a velocity map like this, velocity, wind speeds, right? You want to look for either bright greens or bright reds. And we're not necessarily looking for rotation this morning like we were yesterday. We're looking for those brighter greens or brighter reds to show stronger straight line wind gust, 40, 50 miles per hour or higher. And we're just not seeing that at this point. It looks very, very weak, especially compared to about an hour ago. We'll still make sure that these things don't perk back up again. We'll watch it. I truly believe the greater severe threat today is east of us, really east of Lexington, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, still very heavy rain coming down from, let's say up towards the Canaan community in Jefferson County, Indiana, through Madison, Hanover, Saluda, Lexington, New Washington, Henryville, Memphis, Sellersburg, Jeffersonville, Clarksville, New Albany, Charlestown. Very heavy rain continues. A little bit of lightning still there as well. And that heavy rain also stretches into the east end of Louisville. But again, nothing looks severe at this point. Weakening quite a bit. We'll just take a little radar tour and then we'll probably wrap up our broadcast here this morning because we got to get ready for our midday show here in about an hour. Steadier rain across Bullitt, Spencer, and Nelson County. This is just good old-fashioned rain. Maybe a couple of heavier downpours near Bardstown and Bloomfield. Nothing severe at all, not even close. And then we'll move down to our second cluster of stronger storms, just scooting through our far southeastern counties. Taylor and Adair in particular. We've got very, very heavy rain in Campbellsville, really across all of Taylor County, and down across pretty much all of Adair County. Very heavy rain, good bit of lightning. We'll watch for ponding on the roads in that part of wave country as well. So that's where things stand at this point. Again, there is nothing severe at this time. I don't really see much of a severe threat through the rest of this morning. But once this main pocket of storms gets out of here, by about noon, most of you are dry for the rest of the day. We'll keep a small downpour chance through the afternoon. We're talking a 20% chance that you may see another stray storm this afternoon, but the severe weather threat, it's looking pretty low at this point. So before we go, I'll break down those rain chances for you over the next 12 hours. You notice they drop very nicely through about noon. We'll call it a 20, maybe 30% storm chance around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. But again, a lot of you will stay dry once we get this morning round of storms out of here. And the severe weather threat, yes, there is technically a marginal risk for east of I-65. But like we've been tracking all morning long, like we've been tracking over the last half hour, these storms do continue to weaken. We'll watch it. You never know. We all were reminded of that yesterday, of course, but it's not looking all that impressive at this point, but we'll keep an eye on it. You do notice a slight risk of severe weather was added to our east for later on today, and that's where we have thought all along the greater strong storm threat would be. Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, Western Virginia, so the mountains of Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, even into parts of North Carolina. Could see a better risk for severe storms today, but that risk is lower here in wave country. Here's Futurecast, 10 a.m. So right about now, these storms are pushing east, and by noon, done. All right, so 2 hours, good to go. That's it. We'll watch for any downpours that may develop this afternoon into this evening. Notice how very scattered it is. Don't take this model as to be gospel. It's just one model run, but trying to key in maybe on our southern counties for a better chance for more of those afternoon downpours. But I think any of those downpours could flare up anywhere later on today. It's just that not everybody will be seeing those downpours. As we go through the evening, it's all quiet. The weekend looks fantastic. So if you had to postpone your 4th of July plans yesterday, maybe you held off until this weekend, good call, because this weekend looks great. Mid-60s Saturday morning, highs in the mid-80s on Saturday afternoon. Very, very comfortable. Still a little humid Saturday afternoon, but not miserable, not air you can wear. As we get towards Sunday morning, dare I say a little cool? Maybe. Southern Indiana could be in the upper 50s in a few spots Sunday morning. It will be slightly warmer Sunday afternoon. Upper 80s, maybe close to 90 by Sunday afternoon. But you see on Futurecast, the radar is nice and quiet once we get past today. I'll pop up the 10-day before we sign off. Looking ahead to next week, rain chances they're there. But for the most part, they're lower for now. Got a 40% chance for showers and storms on Tuesday. And we'll have to keep a close eye on Beryl, because Beryl seems to be defying a lot of our forecasts at this point. It has made landfall in the Yucatan Peninsula this morning. I believe it's a Cat 2 hurricane. And it looks as though it could make landfall in southern Texas Monday morning or sometime Monday. So we'll watch it, because it's starting to want to curve back to the north and east a little bit once it makes landfall in Texas. And that could mean slightly higher rain chances here in wave country by the middle of next week. Way too early to get into the specifics at this point, but we'll watch it. I don't see any days that scream severe weather at this point, which is good. But we'll keep those storm chances around for mainly Tuesday of next week, possibly into next Thursday and Friday as well. Otherwise, those temperatures look pretty comfortable. And by comfortable, I mean seasonal for this time of year, typical for mid-July in the upper 80s to low 90s. No mid-90s in the forecast anytime soon. Nothing like we saw back in June. So that is where we stand at this point. Again, no severe warnings at this time. Those storms have weakened quite a bit. Watch out for heavy rain. Watch out for ponding on the roads. Watch out for lightning through about noon, especially if you live east of I-65, east of Louisville. And then we'll keep that small chance for maybe a couple more storms flaring up this afternoon. But once we get past midday, most of us will be dry for the rest of the day. All right, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you as always watching, especially on a holiday weekend. I'll be holding down the fort this morning, coming up on midday here in about an hour at 11 o'clock. You can catch me on Wave News at 3 and Wave News at 4 as well. And then Ryan Hoke will take you through the rest of the evening starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. We appreciate you as always. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend. We will see you again on the TV side of things here in an hour on Wave News Midday. Take care.